Good evening, everyone. Today we are in Spa-Francorchamps. We have only one commentator today, and it's me, Julio Massa. Probably it's my third race in this season. We are in Spa, and it's raining quite hard here in Ardennes Forest. Also, today we have a man running the stream, and oh, I'm sorry, I was going to. What was the word? Lost my wording. Anyway, we have PR in the wall out of Eau Rouge. That was a big impact when I lost my words totally. Anyway, we have Brutus with me, who is doing who's working today as a cameraman, so he won't say anything to you. And well, the drivers are now setting their laps in this heavy rain, but AVR Path went out on intermediate tires, and he is currently the fastest driver on the circuit. 2 minutes, 1 second, 0.3 is the fastest lap right now. 7 drivers have set the lap time. PR has been in the wall. Some drivers have not gone out. Oh my goodness me. That was interesting. I've seen a floating car in the pit lane. Nothing to see here, apparently. Who else? Who else is on intermediates? I think only Path was on inters, because as you could clearly see, these conditions are truly wet, full wet tire conditions. We have Cryptics in a Toro Rosso with a big problem going out of Lake Com. He's lost half of his front wing. He's going really slowly. Cryptic's currently in P7 during this qualifying session. It's going to be a lottery today, to be fair. Maybe those absolutely best drivers will set their lap times. But, oh my god, I've seen someone going sideways in Pouhon. But I can't identify this guy. I'm sorry for that. I'm just probably going to say a little bit of bollocks today because I'm on my own in the commentary box. So sorry for my behavior today. It's going to be fun. It's actually my first time when I'm on my own in the commentary box, so excuse me for that. We have 2 drivers going out on the track, Flying Goat and Julien going out. They haven't set the time. Also, Pixelmeister has not set a lap time. He is on intermediate tires, in fact. So I'd imagine he will set a lap time and in a minute. No, he comes into the pit lane. Quad came out of the pit lane in Force India, and he's also on intermediate tires. Mr. 24 in a Ferrari, the final one not to set a time today, and he's also going out of inters. Is this a crossover point? I believe it is. So the lap times should tumble. 4 minutes to go in the session. Let's see, no one is improving really, because they are coming into the pit lane to change the tires on onto intermediates. 3 minutes and 45 seconds to go. And this is a calm before the storm today. Right now, at the circuit, the Spa-Francorchamps. I'm going with Lord Elton right now, and he's struggling on those full wet tires. So I'd imagine this is the moment where these blue striped tires are going off. Struggling for grip, struggling for everything. But we are now waiting for those final minutes of the session. Actually, Lord Elton is carrying on. He's gone around the bus stop chicane, and now let's see his time. And it's actually pole time. 2 minutes, 1 second, 0.2. And this is the fastest lap, but will he be overtaken by the guys on intermediate tires? The pit lane is now getting busy because everyone is going out. I see Path going out on intermediates. I see Mr. Mouse on. Let me see. These are wet tires. I'm see who else? I see Gobbles on inters, Cryptics on wets, LOR Captain Slow on inters. Marba, I'd imagine he is on inters as well. Mr. 24 is on inters. Quad is on inters. Pixelmeister is on inters. Flying Goat's on inters. Julian is actually on wet tires, and he won't have time to change his tires, so he has to make this lap count. 2 minutes to go in the session, so everyone 159.5 said by Julian. This is the fastest lap at the moment. And now the question is, can those intermediate runners find some time? Well, we're about to know that, to get to know that. Mr. 24 is the first one who will finish his flying lap. He's now going through Eau Rouge and Radio. I'd imagine it's not flat out here. We had one crasher at the beginning of the session. Lord Elton is actually retired from the session. He won't improve his time. 2 minutes, 1.2. This is 1.7 seconds slower than Julian, so he may potentially lose quite a lot of positions. Quad's going through turns number 12 and 13, if I'm right, but he's behind a Haas of I don't know whom, but never mind that. Let's just wait. Is Julian going for another lap? He is now also going into turn number 12 and 13. Yellow flag in sector 3. Some debris flying in the bus stop chicane. Who is that? Gobbles and I don't know who, but they have lost their front wings. Let's see who is where. Path is setting up setting his car to exit the start-finish straight and start his final flying lap. This is what I can tell you now. Lemon in a Ferrari on wet tires now is coming on the start-finish straight, and he's also starting his final flying lap. This is going to be tense because the time has gone, and Cryptics is spun in Eau Rouge, actually on the top of Radio. Julian has retired from the session, by the way. It's getting really, really interesting now. Gobbles has retired from the session. Gobbles in P8. Who else? Cryptics has retired as well. Quad has retired. He's crashed in Eau Rouge, actually. 221. He will probably start from the back of the field. Someone also hit Cryptics. That was... I actually lost. I'm actually lost. Flying Gold also retired. Pixelmeister found an empty bit of track. Mr. 24 with a 2 minutes 6.9. It's a long way. A long way off the top. Is now in P11. Where are guys finishing their laps? Path is going through turn number 12, but I think I've seen Mr. Mouse. Yeah, Mr. Mouse is now coming to the finish line. He is in Blanchimont, and he's horribly wide, and he's in the wall. Oh no. Who else? Pixelmeister is going through the bus stop chicane. He will be the first one to finish his lap on intermediate tires. Really, really tricky conditions, as we've seen a lot of crashes today. Pixelmeister goes into P6. Now let's see. Captain Slow in his Renault going into P9. Who will be the next one to finish their laps? Path now going onto the start-finish straight. To 159.5 to beat. It's 159.7. He's in P2 behind Julien. Lemon now. In his Ferrari. Someone's went wide. That's Victor Waza. Lemon in P3. 2 minutes 0.7. Who else? Victor Waza in P5. 2 minutes 2.2. And that will be the final one to finish their qualifying lap. It's Julien on pole and Path in P2. 2 tenths separating them. But quite big differences all over the field. Actually, P3 1.1 seconds off the top. P4 1.6 seconds off the top. P5 2.6 seconds off the top. The slowest man to set the lap time 21 seconds, 21 and a half seconds off the top. Quad in Force India 2:21.1. PR and Flying Go, two Turkish guys in Red Bull, didn't set any time. Oh my goodness me. That was an interesting qualifying session. I was actually lost. I'm sorry if I missed anything. I hope you won't kill me in the comments or in the chat or whatever. And Lemon has left the session. And guess what? It's raining in Spa. And I'm hearing my cameraman swearing in his box because he really didn't want to see a wet race. But it's only light rain, so hopefully it will change into dry very soon. But my cameraman and my cameraman is a really funny guy. This is what you like. This is what you actually get in the TV when you're working, you know. You have the technicians, the cameraman, and whatever their job is, talking to you, and you also have to focus on what are you going to talk about. And what I'm now going to talk about is the formation lap. As we've seen, we don't have Lemon. He's left the session, so he's out of this race probably. We'll have 15 drivers on the starting grid, and as I can see, everyone starts on intermediate tires. The track doesn't seem to be very much very much wet. I'm sorry, because Cryptix and Mr. 24 have collided on this formation lap and have been removed from it. So we'll have 13 drivers finishing this formation lap and 15 starting the race. I'm looking at the weather, and although it rains, it doesn't seem to rain too hard, so we could get a dry running very, very soon. The leader, Julian, is going through turn 8, the understeery as hell right-hander going down the hill into turn 9. Victor Waza has hit Pixelmeister, I imagine, during this lap, because they have also been removed from it. So 11 drivers are going to finish this lap. Sorry guys for that. That was again my cameraman laughing because it's safe to say he isn't a Mercedes fan, and he sees two Mercedes at the locking out the front row. But as I've said, this is what you actually get when you're working in the TV. Not only having to focus on what's going on the circuit, but also having to focus on what you're getting on your headphones. This is actually, what is the word? Cacophony, if there is something in English, but it's basically quite hard to get everything right. And Pat has hit his teammate on going into the bus stop chicane, so they are also not going to finish their formation lap. Lord Elton will lead the field going into the starting grid. Dockster will be the final one who will stop his car on the grid. But the tension now rises. 15 drivers, 2 Mercedes locking out the front row, light rain going into Las Source. Las Source, the place that has seen a lot of problems in the past. We remember 1998, 2012, a lot of things happening there. As I've said, the tension rises as we're waiting. 5 red lights to go out. We have 2 and 4 and 5 red lights. And away we go for the Belgian Grand Prix. And what can I say now is that it's a an even start between those two Mercs. No crashes so far. And it's McLaren of Victor Waza in P3. No collisions so far, and it's a very clean start, at least for now. Now, Path will hand down his teammate going through Eau Rouge into Radio. I've seen, yeah, it's Julian going sideways through the right-hander, and will now this give an advantage to his teammate. Can he overtake him going into Lake Combe? No, he can. No, he can't. Victor in P3. And Pixelmeister overtakes Mr. Mouse into Lake Combe. The Williams driver goes into P5. And I've seen, that's, yeah, Captain Slow hitting the Dockster at the back. Will that give the Renault a big front wing damage? We don't know. Mr. Mouse going down the inside into turn 8. And he's now back up to P5. Mr. 24 is losing positions. Now he's behind Mr. Goat. I've seen someone in the wall, and that is Cryptix. He's lost half of his front wing. He has to pit at the end of this lap, probably. Marv, very far now in P15. Oh my goodness me. Flying Go has now overtaken Cryptix. But let's go back at the front, because I've missed that, and Path is in the lead of this race. He's fighting with his teammate very, very fiercely, and Victor Waza is just behind them, and he has overtaken Julien going into turn 15. Now Blanchimont, can the Renault the Mercedes re-overtake the McLaren driver? I think he can. Yes, Julien is up to P2, and that is Captain Slow. No, that's Lord Elton going spinning round, taking Mr. Mouse in the process. Two cars, well, they are not out of the race, but they are way, way down the field now. And Path has taken the lead, is now in the league of his own, 1.4 seconds ahead of Victor Waza. Mr. Mouse comes into the pit lane, and I've seen, yeah, that's Lord Elton in the wall out of bus stop chicane. Yeah, that's Lord Elton losing a lot of time. Mr. 24 has lost his entire front wing on in Blanchimont, and he will pit. Mr. Mouse has retired from the session. Unlucky. Marb is now hunting Cryptix, who hasn't pitted at the end of this lap, and now that's Marb up to P11. Flying Goat in P10. Gobbles down in P9. He's been overtaken by PR, who crashed at the very beginning of the session. Path 1.5 seconds ahead of his teammate. Julian now is already a second up on Victor Waza in the middle sector. Pixelmeister has gone up to P4. He's taken that position when Lord Elton spun out in Blanchimont, taking Mr. Mouse in the process, and we have a big fight. The dogs are in P7, PR in P8, Quad in P8, PR in P7, Quad in P8, Gobbles in P9. They are they are overtaking each other in every corner. The Doxer now is in P6, PR in P7, Gobbles in P8. They are going, well, not side by side, but they are slipstreaming each other. Now Blanchimont, a very good position. Side by side goes Gobbles, and they are going 3 wide. There is going to be collision unless someone doesn't back off. And Doxter goes really, really wide, and he saves it. I don't know how. And also PR has overshoot the chicane quite dramatically. He will get, no, he doesn't get a time penalty. Oh my goodness me. Quad and Gobbles are coming into the pit lane. Let's see what tires are they going to take. It's still too early for something different than Inders, I imagine. But I am seeing slicks, and Quad goes onto soft tires. And let's see what will Gobbles take. He takes super soft. I think it's too early. I think it's too early to take slicks. But I may be wrong. This is the beauty of this game. Path is in the league of his own. I've said that earlier. 2 seconds up on his teammate. Julian is a little bit slower, but he's also a lot faster than Victor Waza. 1.6 seconds up ahead of the McLaren, who's struggling with going round turn 8. DRS enabled, so this could be late because Pixelmeister has spun in P in turn 8 and he's taking Captain Slow with himself. What is going on there? I mean, what is going on? That's the Dogster up in P4, but he's fighting quite hard with Pixelmeister. They are going to crash, going through Poulon. Don't go side by side through here. They have done it, and they have somehow survived it. PR just behind the Dogster. Can the Red Bull overtake this Albert? No, they can't. Guys, don't crash too much. This is not what you want to do. Can you repeat it because I haven't heard you. Okay. My cameraman is saying that those guys who have put on the slicks a lap ago could potentially get better. Let's see. Path and Julian are pitting at the same lap. They are taking slicks, of course, but this is double stacking. Julian will lose a heap of the time. Now also Victor Waza coming, Pixelmeister, PR, the Dogster, Flying Out, everyone comes into the pit lane. And let's see, will those slick runners, will those guys who took on the slicks a lap earlier, will they emerge ahead of the front runners? Well, AVR path is clear. Victor Waza also, Julian also, but now the Dogster will be P4. I think it's going to be Quad up in P4. Man who crashed at the top of Radio in the qualifying session, started from P13, was 20 seconds of the pace. In the qualifying is up to P4. Pixelmeister in P5, Gobbles in P6, PR in P7. Quad gets a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. But now we're going on the camel straight. The DRS is now open, and let the fun and games begin right now, because the slipstreaming paradise is now open. That's a beautiful, beautiful metaphor, or whatever that was. So we have currently Marb in P12, but he seems to have some problems on the straight. He certainly isn't going flat out. We have yellow flag in sector 2, and that is the Dogster going wide, or going round, I should say. That's in turn, I don't know, that's turn, that was turn 8, this understeery right-hander. AVR path 5 seconds up the road already. He will surely fly right now. Path has taken on super soft tires. Will he make it to the end of the race? I don't really know. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. Quad is probably in a good situation because he's on soft tires. They will certainly go the distance. I'm not sure about the red super soft, but let's wait and see. It's still 18 laps to go. And Quad sets the fastest lap of the race, 156.2. So these lap times are still quite slow. But as the track will evolve, the lap times will tumble. Let's see. Going with Captain Slow, he doesn't improve with the lap time. I'm actually looking at Marb, and I don't know, he's still struggling. He's being now hand down by Lord Elton. And what the heck was that? Okay, I'm sorry for the language, but Marb just completely cut across Lord Elton's path in the bus stop chicane. Marb came into the pit lane. Lord Elton has retired from the session after this incident. I'm completely... I don't know what is that. I've heard yesterday that Marb may have some problems with the steering wheel. But is that really the same thing? I don't know. Mr. Marsden goes up to P14. Marb is in P13, but I didn't see him continuing. If he really has his steering wheel issues, he really should retire from the session, because he is going to be a threat for everyone on the track, especially on such a quick track as Spa-Francorchamps. Julian is hunting down Victor Waza in P2, so this Mercedes is certainly faster than the McLaren, but he will have to overtake his opponent. He will have the DRS right now. That's incredible fastest lap time, 150.5. Yeah, that's a great lap time. 149.9 set by Julian. Julian is, of course, using the DRS because he is behind Victor Waza. Using the DRS and the slipstream, it's worth a lot on this circuit. And now, going down to Eau Rouge. DRS detection point just passed. He will surely use the DRS. Eau Rouge, Radial. The doctor gets a 3-second time penalty. Onto Camel Straight. The DRS wide open in the Mercedes. And now, let's see if he will slipstream past the McLaren. He will attack from the way behind, but he is behind the McLaren. Defensive driving style set by Victor Waza. It's good. Will now Julian try to go? No, he doesn't try to go into turn 8. Probably, maybe if he has the speed advantage, he can go into Pouhon, but Pouhon is a very risky move. He will have to go side by side, but he is alongside him, and they are going too wide in Pouhon. Victor Waza goes horribly wide, and that's Julian up to P2. Oh, a great piece of crap. Now, PR and Gobbles are fighting for P6. PR is on soft tires. Gobbles is on super softs, and also Pixelmeister is in this fight. He's made PR on horribly wide in turn 12. And the Red Bull has lost a position and a heap of time. Now, Gobbles trying to overtake Pixelmeister, and he is ahead of the Williams. A lot of things still happening in this race. I'm still losing myself a little bit. Path with 148.2. And now, will Julian improve this time? I don't think so, because he's been involved in a huge scrap with Victor Waza. He doesn't improve this time. Oh. Pixelmeister still fighting with Gobbles. Pixelmeister getting a 5 seconds time penalty for cutting the track. He's lit up the rear tires going out of the bus stop chicane, but he's behind Gobbles. But we'll have a three-way fight for P5 right now. PR and P7 still on those soft tires. He's just behind. Pixelmeister in P6 on those super softs, and Gobbles in P5. I don't really think... Well, Pixelmeister getting another 3-second time penalty for cutting the track in Eau Rouge. And now, DRS wide open. The slipstreaming paradise, as I've called it there earlier, is now open. And it's the PR trying to go around the outside in Lacombe, but that doesn't happen. It's very hard to do so here. It didn't happen. But now, going into turn 8, Pixelmeister taking the defensive line. PR going around the outside, and they are still in the positions where they were, and that's a great thing for Gobbles, who is already 1.8 seconds ahead of Pixelmeister. Still going through Pouhon. Pixelmeister a little bit wide, and that is PR and P6, and Flying Goat is just behind Pixelmeister. So Pixelmeister goes. Oh my goodness me, that's a great fight. This is one of the greatest fights I've seen today. Pixelmeister is back up ahead, back up into P6, overtaking PR. AVR path 148.1. That's another great lap time. But never mind that, he will probably disappear in the distance. 2 Red Bulls versus 1 Williams, and now PR will try. Well, he tried to go into the bus stop. He tries, but. And Pixel is a little bit better on brakes. It's now a Flying Goat up to P7. Oh my goodness me. No, PR goes down the inside into La Source, and Pixelmeister is down into P8. What a major scrap. Now 2 Red Bulls. Will they go side by side in Eau Rouge? They don't dare doing that, because it's going to probably kill one of them. But now PR will try and overtake his teammate. The teammate doesn't have the DRS, so probably he won't give any hard time to his teammate. And Captain Slow is also fighting with Pixelmeister. He's still behind them. Pixelmeister is really cutting the track, so I imagine he'll get a lot of penalties now. But still, this fight is incredible. 4 cars currently fighting. The Doctor gets a 3-second time penalty. Let's see how it's the race. Oh yeah, he's spun out in Eau Rouge. He's lost a part of his front wing. But let's get back to the fight, because Pixelmeister was attacked by Captain Slow in P1, but he's still in P8. Flying Goat in P7 and PR in P6. They are probably going to disappear in the distance if Pixelmeister carries on. If Pixelmeister still fights Captain Slow. They can't afford fighting like that, because they will lose a lot of time now. Captain Slow in the slipstream going through Blanchimont. Flying Goat has overtaken PR, by the way, in Blanchimont. Captain Slow in the slipstream. Will he try to go under the brakes? And he doesn't. Pixelmeister is really wide in bus stop chicane, and I think there was a slight contact between him and Captain Slow. Nothing going on there. Flying Goat is up into P6, PR and P7. Pixelmeister letting Captain Slow pass in La Source. This is interesting. This is an interesting strategy. Will he just use his DRS and maybe potentially use Captain Slow as a sort of tow for him to catch both Red Bulls up the road? Maybe. This is a great idea. Marb is fighting with the Dogster, and Marb is up into P11, so he's fighting with his wheel probably. But yeah, but he's up in P11. The Dogster got a 5-second time penalty. He's coming into the pit lane to change the front wing. Mr. 24 is 1.5 seconds behind Marb. Cryptic's in P10. So yeah, it's getting a little bit easier, a little bit calmer in this race. Well, actually not, because Gobbles is fighting with Quad. Quad on those soft tires is really, really slow. Gobbles is up into P4 now. And I don't see any attack back from the Force India. Path setting another fastest lap. I've seen it. I've said it probably a dozen of times today, but Path is in the league of his own today. Perfect drive, and well, it's still a half of the race to go, but he's certainly looking good for that win today. I'm sorry for that moment of silence. Pixelmeister is actually in the pit lane, so he was on super soft tires. So this is actually a good question. Will our leaders pit? I'm actually a little bit tired after those incredible first 10 laps. What I'm seeing, yeah, it's only Julian lapping someone. Julian is 17 seconds behind his teammate. I didn't know what happened there, but he must have made a big mistake. Let's see if Path pits. No, he doesn't. So he carries on. Starting lap number 11. The halfway point of the race will be after this lap, actually. Captain Slow is now just behind PR, so this Renault has a great pace. Captain Slow was round in turn 8 after pitting onto those and changing onto those slicks, but he's now on a recovery drive. He is within the DRS window behind PR, so let's see. Will he use the DRS? He surely will use the DRS. Maybe not into La Source, because it's tricky to overtake it here, and the straight is too short. But now, out of last source. The traction is vital here. And now going down into Eau Rouge. Going through Radio into Camel Straight. And now the DRS will be wide open. This slipstreaming paradise again. And will he go down the inside in Lecombe? He's too far behind PR, so not this time probably. 2/10 between them as we go through turn 7 into turn 8 now. This understeery right-hander, maybe not here, but maybe if he has the speed advantage, he will try to overtake the Red Bull driver. Going into Pouhon, you never can rule out that move today. We've seen a lot of these moves today, and I wouldn't be surprised if that happened today, but still too far back. But no, PR runs wide and gives the position to Captain Slow for free. That was a good idea. Flying Goat now half a second behind Quad, so there's another crap going on right now through Blanchimont. The Red Bull slipstreaming now. The DRS detection point was just passed right now. And let's see. I don't see any move coming into the bus stop chicane. He's too far behind. And now the turn number 19. Exiting the straight. DRS wide open. And let's go into last source. Well, he tried to make a move there. He shows himself in the mirrors. But he tucks in behind Quad. And now down the hill into Eau Rouge and then Radion. This is a great path that you certainly remember from my previous laps. And now DRS wide open in the Red Bull. This is the Renault engine versus Mercedes engine. The Force India goes defensive and Quad stays in P5, but for how long will he stay there? He's still ahead of the Red Bull, and I can certainly say they will be hunted down by Captain Slow. He's much quicker than them, so Flying Goat has to hurry up if he wants to stay in P5. Another man going wide in Pouhon. This time Quad goes wide in Pouhon, and he doesn't leave much space for Flying Goat. But the Red Bull driver is up in P5. Yeah, Quad doesn't try to re-overtake him in turn. That's turn 14. No, he won now, of course. The slipstream, but he's a long way behind. Julian in the pit lane, so. He is the first Mercedes driver to pit, taking on another set of super soft tires, so they will go to the finish line, I can assure you. Flying Goat then in P5, Quad in P6, and Captain Slow is just behind Quad, 1.1 seconds. Probably he won't have the DRS right now, but he will have it any minute, in just a few seconds. Well, maybe in just a few laps, but no, 9. I'm lost. He may have the DRS. I'm sorry for that. No, he doesn't have. Okay. AOR path 23 seconds up the road, in the lead. 24 seconds now. I'm actually curious, will he pit now or will he carry on still? Looking at his tires, I can tell you he must pit again. Gobble's right now in P3. He will be hunted down by Julian, I am sure, because Julian has new set of tires. So he will be flying on this track. Captain Slow just 9/10 of a second. I'm sorry for that. Captain Slow 9/10 behind Quad. This is the group that will finish the race on these tires. They are going well. These soft tires will go the distance. Captain Slow making up a lot of time in the middle sector now. 4/10 between them, going through Blanchimont up the hill again. I don't see any move coming into bus stop chicane because the Renault driver is too far behind, unless he's as brave as Daniel Ricciardo is. And we won't have any move because Quad comes into the pit lane. And Gobbles also is in the pit lane, and someone was... Oh, no. Captain Slow, who spun out coming out of the bus stop chicane. Who else in the pit lane then? Oh, maybe let's wait, because PR is now up to P5. Flying Goat in P4. I'm really sorry. I'm just tired after a long day. Pixelmeister gets another 3-second time penalty. He's really harsh on tires because he's been in the pit lane some time ago, and his super softs also look very worn. Marb came into the pit lane and still managed to get a 5-second stop and go penalty for speeding it in there. So yeah, that's great. Julien is in P3 right now. Let's see, because it's going to be his first flying lap. Path stays out and goes sideways out of the bus stop chicane. But okay, Mr. 24 in the pit lane as well. These guys are, well, yeah, these guys are either going to be lapped or are already lapped. Let's see if Victor Waza comes into the pit lane. He's 26 seconds behind Path, but the McLaren driver still stays out. Julien says the fastest lap of the race, 1:46.7. That's a great lap time. PR gets a 3-second time penalty for cutting the track, and Captain Slow overtakes PR in the bus stop chicane. What happened there? I mean, this guy certainly has a lot of pace. He's just making mistakes that are costing him a lot of time, because he could even be on the podium today if he didn't make them. But he's now down in P4. He will probably go to the end of the race, as will Flying Goat, but well, Flying Goat, 9 seconds up the road. I don't think he will catch the Red Bull driver, or maybe he's going to prove me wrong. 8 laps to go. Well, not 8 actually, I should say 7, because Path comes through Blanchimont yet again for the 15th time during today's race. Now going into the bus stop chicane. But let's not focus on the leader, because we have Gobbles half a second behind Captain Slow still. So this fight is on, because Gobbles is on new set of super soft tires, and he's having a big speed advantage going through Pouon. He's now trying to go down the inside in turn 12, and he's still behind the Renault driver. Good defensive drive, but still I don't think he will manage to stay in front of the Haas driver, especially if this Haas driver has great a great tire advantage, as seen right now going through Blanchimont. He's just behind the Renault. Will he try and move into the bus stop chicane? He's too far back, or no, he just sticks his nose, but he can't do that. And actually, Captain Slow comes into the pit lane, so my talks about great recovery are now over. Flying Goat also went into the pit lane. Gobbles right now is up in P4 then. Julien just 2.2 seconds behind Victor Waza. So he's hunting down the second placed McLaren driver, and he will have a pit stop advantage over him. Marv has retired from the session from P10. He's just stopped on the track. So that's the race over. Probably those wheel issues have been too big. Captain Slow rejoins in P9. Still think there are some drivers who will pit. Well, PR pitted, and he's in P7 on new set of super soft tires. Quad is on a new set of super soft tires, just behind Flying Goat. So this could be a good fight again, if Quad manages to stay behind behind the Flying Goat. And we don't really have much more fighting to do. Well, we do have much more fighting, because Julien 7/10 behind Victor Waza right now. 6 now going through the Blanchimont section of the track, going into the bus stop chicane. The Mercedes driver versus the McLaren, but the McLaren comes into the pit lane, so we won't have any fight yet again. Starting lap 17, Pixelmeister gets another 3-second time penalty, and Path has now 28.6 seconds of advantage. He's just as quick as, I don't know, those Japanese trains, whatever they are called, or the TGV train in France, you name it, because he's lightning quick today. But it's Gobbles up in P4, Flying Goat up in P5, and Quad has lost a lot of time, so that's probably going to be the finishing order, unless something really unexpected happens. PR is in P6, 10 seconds behind Quad. Captain Slow in P8, 3.5 seconds behind. Cryptics in P9, 3.2 seconds behind Captain Slow. Pixelmeister went into the wall, going out of turn 15, but he's still on the track. I don't know how he survived that hit, but he's surely going to lose a position to Mr. 24. He's going slowly through Blanchimont. I'm actually curious what's going to happen, because it doesn't seem normal to me. Yeah, he just lets Mr. 24 past. Pixelmeister coming into the pit lane. Oh, he has some problems. And he's hit the wall at the pit entry. What is going on there? This Williams is as undrivable as this year's Williams. I can tell you that. Someone was in the pit lane. That was Pixelmeister, actually. Oh! Path came into the pit lane. I've completely missed that, because he's now only 8 seconds ahead of Julien. And Gobbles is up in P3, so I'm sorry for that, but I've missed probably one of the most important moments of the race. Oh my goodness me, so we have 5 laps to go. Path is on the new set of tires. Captain Slow sets the fastest lap of the race on ultra soft tires, 1:46.3. And now let's wait for Path's answer, because he will have new tires. He will try to go. He will have the new tires. He will have, of course, a light car going into lap 19. The lap 19 will be his first lap, flying lap. He's already 12 seconds up on Julien, so Julien's lost a heap of time in the sector, in the second sector, I am sure. And now going into the bus stop chicane. Really clean race by Path today. And now going on to the start-finish straight, starting lap 19, first flying lap after pitting for the new set of tires. We don't really have much fighting, although, as I'm saying that, Captain Slow is, of course, mighty quick now on those ultra soft tires. He's half a second behind PR, and it's going to be a matter of few corners. It's just a question when will Captain Slow be ahead of PR, because it's inevitable. Slipstreaming behind the Red Bull. Oh, and Red Bull became a ghost on the in the Blanchimont section. Whatever happened there, it was really strange. But because of all of this, Captain Slow is still in P8 and the PR is in P7, but Captain Slow will have the DRS. Starting lap 19 for them, going into the last source. And again, traction. He will, Captain Slow will have a great traction going out of last source. We have a yellow flag in sector 2. I don't care what happened there, unless it's something big, but it's not. Going through Eau Rouge and Radio, half a second between the Renault and the Red Bull. Renault with the DRS wide open, but he's not really closing down. He's not really closing down on PR. He's still behind him, but he will have such a big tire advantage that he will overtake him either into turn 8 or maybe into Pouon. Another audacious move there. What is going on with PR? Because he became a ghost again. They are still a bit behind each other. Path has an incredible fastest lap of the race. 1:45.3. Wow. Incredible. Meanwhile, Captain Slow is just behind PR yet again. PR seems to have good pace through this middle sector after all, and he seems to be still ahead of Captain Slow, but now going through turn 15 onto Blanchimont. Only 1/10 between them. They are going to go side by side. Maybe Captain Slow will have to try a move around the outside, and Blanchimont, he doesn't try that move, but maybe under braking into bus stop chicane. Yeah, it's too far back. I'm actually really surprised, but because I haven't seen any move into bus stop chicane, and that's a great place to overtake someone on the brakes. But it's never happened today. Going through La Source, just behind, just touching the Red Bull is Captain Slow, and surely he will now have the DRS, and he will use it well. And PR goes wide and Radio, and that will be the end of this fight. But wait a minute, because the Red Bull is still on the inside. No, he tucks in behind the Renault, and that was this fight for now. PR with a 3-second time penalty, and that was probably all the fighting we've seen in this race, unless I'm very much mistaken. And what? Well, Path has started lap number 21 out of 22. Penultimate lap, so only 14 kilometers to go in this race. To be fair, I don't even know which round is that, which is terrible from me, I know that. But nothing really happens right now, which is a little bit boring. We've had a great start to the race with this rain, but nothing really happens now. Well, that's good for me. Yeah. Okay. So I'm getting an information that we actually won't have a press conference today because my cameraman has to go. I'm sorry for that, everyone who wanted to hear from AOR Path after this win, but he will probably say that was a great race, it was easy for him, and he just went as fast as he could. And Julian couldn't do anything about it. He just was in the class of his own. And yeah, that's all you can say. That's all you can take from Path. This is just, a standard question. Mr. 24 has left the session. Pixelmeister has retired from the race, but that doesn't change anything. So yeah, this is probably it. Path has started the final lap of the race. I'm repeating, there will be no press conference today because my cameraman has to go home, let's say. Although he is at his home, but you know what I mean. And nothing really happens in this race. Or maybe not in this race, but right now, pushing the car to the limits is now Path, but he doesn't have to do that. Or maybe he's just doing burnouts for the public. Julien, 24 seconds behind Path, so you could really say that Path has been just in the league of his own today. Great, flawless drive, starting from P2, didn't crash with his teammate. He's done everything. He's done everything well. Great strategy calls. So, I mean, what else can you say about it? It was just a great drive. So now, Path in the third sector, going through Blanchimont, turn 16. The Duxer gets another 3-second time penalty that is in P11. Actually, let's wait, because the penalties will change quite a lot in this race. So let's just wait. Flying Goat is 8 tenths behind Victor Waza, but I don't think he will overtake the McLaren. But never mind that, because Path has exited the final straight, and he takes the checker flag, he takes the win, yet again. He was in the class of his own. He won it by a country mile. Absolutely stunning performance. So Julien, the poleman, will come in P2. He spins coming out of... Okay, I see. He's just showing off. He's just showing off. He's going onto the he's going through the finish line in reverse, and that's it. Gobbles will come will finish in P3 unless something happens. Right now it's oh no! That's what I've said about penalties. Victor Waza has taken podium because Gobbles has got a penalty and he's lost 3 tenths to that podium. What a shame. So that's right now it's Captain Slow in P6, Flying Goat in P5, Mr. 24 in P10, Quad in P7, PR in P8. So let's just wait for Cryptix. Yeah, Cryptix will be the final man to finish this race. And yeah, another stunning win by Path today. 35 seconds of an advantage. That was incredible. Really incredible. Cryptix goes through the final corner. And that will be it. AVR Belgian Grand Prix. Thank you very much. Another race from Path. As I've said, no press conference today. So we're finishing the stream right now. Guys, thank you very much for watching. If you liked it, if you liked my talking for this past hour, it was a very tough race for me, I can say that, because I was on my own. I had to talk a lot, especially during qualifying and the wet part of this race, but I hope it wasn't too bad. Thank you, Marceli, my cameraman, for the job. You won't hear him, but you also can be thankful for him because he actually ran the stream. So if he didn't have time, we wouldn't have the stream. So Marceli, thank you. And yeah, see you next week. Although I won't be again.